Just like that, Ederson is out, Donnarumma is in, and the way Manchester City has played over the years may have just changed forever. How? Let's just jump into it. Consider subscribing to our channel. It's free and helps us a ton. Thanks. The summer transfer window of 2025 has been one of the most chaotic ones. Some huge deals have been struck, including the British transfer record of Alexander Isak. Manchester City's transfer window was no different, with some huge names like Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan and Jack Grealish having left the club, while big prospective names like Tijani Reinders, Ryan Cherki and Ryan Ait-Nouri joining the club. Amidst all these transfers, the most peculiar transfer business happened on the deadline day. Manchester City's first choice keeper of 8 seasons, Ederson, left the club for Fenerbahce, while the former AC Milan goalkeeper and considered one of the best shot stoppers in the world, Gianluigi Donnarumma, joined Manchester City from PSG. Now, Manchester City is one of the biggest and, more importantly, one of the richest clubs in the world. For them, recruiting one of the best keepers going around in the world shouldn't be that big of a surprise, especially when that keeper was instrumental in PSG winning their first ever Champions League and a continental quadruple. But the circumstances under which he was signed did leave everyone's head scratching. A generational goalkeeper being sold by a team after winning everything with them on a cut price transfer fee. Sure, it looked odd, but to examine why this is a bit of a surprise, we got to understand who Donnarumma is and under what conditions he has been sold. There is no one with even a fleeting interest in football who doesn't know Donnarumma. From a very young age, he was touted as the heir to the throne of Gianluigi Buffon, probably the greatest compliment that can be paid to a young keeper. At just 16, he had become AC Milan's first choice keeper. In fact, at 16 years 242 days, Donnarumma became the third youngest keeper ever to start a match. Diego Lopez, the then Milan first choice keeper, hailed him as quote-unquote the future of Milan and of Italian football. And the very next season, he had displaced him as the first choice keeper for AC Milan. By 2021, he was already regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He won the Italian Golden Boy Award in 2019, was named Serie A Goalkeeper of the Year in 2 consecutive years in 2020 and 21, and was named in Serie A Team of the Year twice, one for the 2019-20 and another for the 2020-21 season. His performances in the 2021 season helped AC Milan qualify for the Champions League for the first time since 2014. In 2021, after his contract expired with Milan, PSG readily signed him to add him to their star-studded lineup. The next 4 years, he won everything he could with PSG, including 4 Ligue 1 trophies, 2 Coupe de France, 3 Trophées des Champions, and a Champions League. He won the UNFP Ligue 1 Goalkeeper of the Year twice for the 2021-22 and the 2023-24 seasons, and had been part of UNFP Ligue 1 Team of the Year twice too, in the 2021-22 and 2023-24 seasons. He has 144 clean sheets in club football in 412 appearances combined for AC Milan and PSG across all competitions. So you can see how elite Donnarumma as a goalkeeper is. And yet, he has been sold on by PSG at a cut price fee. The question is why? On the first glance, it seems like a transfer like this only happens when the player is unsettled. I mean, why would anybody sell a talent like Donnarumma for just a reported £26 million plus whatever the add-ons are? Donnarumma had become infamous for the way he exited his boyhood club, AC Milan. Milan had constantly tried to re-sign Donnarumma to a contract in 2021, but failed to meet the player's wage demands of €1 million per month as well as €20 million in agent commission for Mino Raiola, and pulled out of the negotiation in late May 2021. It seems similar things happened at PSG, where the contract negotiations with his agent Enzo Raiola was protracted and stretched well past the Champions League into the Club World Cup. With the prospect of Donnarumma entering the final year of his contract without extension and the danger of him leaving on a free next year meant it was wiser for PSG to simply sell him now. However, PSG, and specifically Luis Enrique, cited tactical requirements as the reason for non-renewal of Donnarumma. Luis Enrique said his decision was down to looking for, quote-unquote, a different profile of goalkeeper. He said, "It is a difficult decision. I only have praise for Donnarumma. He is one of the very best goalkeepers out there and an even better man. But we were looking for a different profile. It's very difficult to take these types of decisions." PSG signed Lucas Chevalier from Lille as Donnarumma expressed his disappointment, saying, "To the special Paris fans, from the first day I arrived, I gave everything, on and off the pitch, to earn my place and defend the goal of Paris Saint-Germain. Unfortunately, someone has decided that I can no longer be part of the group and contribute to the team's success. I am disappointed and disheartened." And thus, after a protracted negotiation and reaching an impasse with PSG, on the deadline day of the summer transfer window of 2025, Donnarumma was shown the door. Now, any big club in the world would have jumped on the opportunity to sign one of the best in the world, a 10-year veteran goalkeeper who is only 26 and may just be entering his prime. Yet, his wages meant not many clubs were ready to take that punt, and eventually Manchester City made the call. But why Manchester City? Looking at Manchester City's business and requirements at the time, goalkeeper was the last position in the need of strengthening. They already had Ederson and Ortega and had just signed James Trafford to be the heir apparent to Ederson, and even signed Marcus Bettinelli to be the third choice goalkeeper as Scott Carson had left the club. It is difficult to pinpoint the reasons for this piece of business, but it was apparent one or two of the goalkeepers would need to leave for Donnarumma to be signed, which was made clear by Manchester City, who were locked in negotiations with PSG all summer. In fact, at one point, Donnarumma deal had almost fell through when Guardiola reiterated that neither Ederson nor Ortega would leave the club this summer. Guardiola told reporters at a golf event in Catalonia, "We have spoken about this situation regarding squad planning, and the two goalkeepers we have will continue." It was not only reassurance to the fan base who had been hearing the news and rumors surrounding Ederson's possible exit since the last season, but also for someone like Trafford, who is a Manchester City Academy product and was seen as the eventual replacement for Ederson. Couple that with this being Ederson's last 12 months with the club, it seemed the goalkeeper conundrum had been settled. According to Jack Vaughan, Ortega too decided to stay put as he spurred interest from Sunderland, Burnley and Fenerbahce through the summer. So when did it all change? Questions about Ederson's status remained through the summer window as Trafford started all the 3 league matches of the current season. Donnarumma was only to be signed if Ederson left, and it finally happened on the deadline day. Donnarumma was signed, Ederson left for Fenerbahce, and now City are still with 4 goalkeepers, 3 of them of starter quality. But the biggest question in all of this has been, can City really play the way they play with Donnarumma between the sticks? One of the biggest changes in City's style of play came when Guardiola took over in 2016. While most clubs and managers prefer a good shot stopper with every other skill deemed secondary, Guardiola always preferred keepers that were good with the ball at their feet and were good distributors. One of the main reasons Joe Hart was forced out was because he was deemed to not be good enough with the ball at his feet. Ederson's signing in 2017 changed how people saw keepers. One of the calmest keepers with the ball at his feet, tremendous passing ability and the propensity to snuff out danger at the earliest sign, Ederson was a tailor-made Guardiola keeper. So replacing Ederson with Donnarumma is a genuine chin scratcher for a lot of the fan base and pundits alike. Like, Donnarumma is one of the most traditional goalkeepers out there. A phenomenal shot stopper with every other skill being secondary. City haven't played with a traditional shot stopper in 8 years. So now coming back to the question at hand, can City play the way they play with Donnarumma as the number 1? Well, that question is a very difficult one to answer. Donnarumma isn't Ederson-like at all. If anything, they are maybe polar opposite. While Ederson is an elite technical goalkeeper with pinpoint accuracy with his passing and distribution, Donnarumma is an elite shot stopper with godlike reflexes. While Ederson is not a bad shot stopper, he isn't the one who you'd put in your goalkeeper saves highlight reels. On the other hand, you'd be hard pressed to find Donnarumma assisting a goal through his accurate long balls. Ederson would come off his line so fast to snuff out any sort of danger. Donnarumma, on the other hand, would rather stay on his line and make spectacular saves. The only similarity between the two is that both these keepers were instrumental for their respective clubs winning their first ever Champions League. So is signing Donnarumma a mistake for Manchester City? Unless he plays a run of games, we wouldn't know. But we can take a hint from another signing that did not quite fit the Manchester City way. Yes, we're talking about the big man up top, Erling Haaland. At the time of his signing, he wasn't a Guardiola type player at all. Guardiola had preferred a number 9 who was technically proficient in all the ways. An elite passer, an elite presser, an elite finder of space. Haaland was none of it. He didn't have a divine first touch, nor did he have great link-up or dribbling abilities. He wasn't a false 9 or an elite ball-playing 9. He was just a very proficient goal scorer. And since coming to City in 2022, he has done exactly that. In his 3 seasons prior to this one at City, Haaland has won the Golden Boot award twice and has already scored 3 goals in 3 games in this season. He has proven to be able to fit a Guardiola system without being a Guardiola player. Or rather, Guardiola has shown his system is malleable enough to account for elite players who may not exactly possess all the qualities he demands. Besides, Donnarumma is no mug with the ball at his feet, nor is he exactly a useless passer. Of course, he isn't an Ederson. I don't know any across the world who can be. But Donnarumma is an elite goalkeeper. With City in the state that it is, with shaky defense and constantly conceding on the counter or defensive mistakes, maybe a goalkeeper like Donnarumma is exactly what they need. Maybe they need the chaos over the control that Guardiola demands from his team. Maybe after 8 years, a traditional goalkeeper is exactly what City needs. And for now, Donnarumma seems to be happy to come aboard the City train, saying, when a club like Manchester City wants you so badly, it means you've done a good job. Being wanted by one of the best managers in the world is an indescribable feeling. Thank you for watching. Like if you liked it, share if you find it worthy, and subscribe for more content like this. This is Salty Football.